Right? It just goes slow. Okay. So first and foremost, we talk about what we believe in first, so you kind of understand what our mantra is. So to create leaders and real estate entrepreneurs through personal development, coaching, and a culture of success. So the first line is about creating leaders and entrepreneurs. Like we don't believe in just creating agents, right? We think that, the industry is kind of under attack a little bit. And if you're just looking to do a few transactions here and just to be an agent, not to actually build a business and become a leader, I think you're in trouble. I think a lot of agents are going to be in trouble if they're not thinking this way. So we really want to create leaders. And also entrepreneurs to have you guys shift into a mindset of, oh, this is my business, right? I often say, I can't care more about your business than you do. I'm gonna do everything that I can to get you there, but there has to be that thing like, hey, this is my business. I have to take ownership of this, right? And then the second sense is personal development, coaching, and a culture of success. Like those are the three things that I've always said we do well: is personal development, coaching, and culture. And that was the reason people were joining us when we used to be a franchise called Exit Realty. It's the one thing that I think is the reason that people will do well in the industry. And what you'll find is, I will never bash another brand, because at the end of the day, it really has to do with the people. I always say choose people, not logos, right? So you could go to a Keller Williams office and you'd be like, oh my God, this is terrible here. But you could go to another Keller Williams office and be like, I love it here. Why? It's because of the people and what they believe in. Okay. So number one, personal development is huge because here's what I've realized over coaching agents for the past 3 years is that has very little to do with skills. It has almost everything to do with mindset. Okay. If you don't build a person, you can't build a business. It does, like you could come to me, Bobby, and say, I want to make $1 million this year. And I'll give you a plan to make $1 million. But if you go home and tell yourself you're not worth it, you're not going to do anything that I told you, right? So personal development is so huge. It's actually the only thing. Because once you have a foundation of personal development, in other words, if you start believing new things, right? So the reason that we do a lot of the things that we do, or we haven't gotten the success we have, is because we're stuck in patterns and stories. Not that we're not able. It's because we believe things that were kind of imparted on us when we were 5 years old. And we continue to run those stories, right? So, whether it was a parent that wasn't there, or, you didn't get the love from this person, or somebody made you feel like you weren't worth it. Well, there's a story and it started and the seed was planted, right? So just like we know people that are always looking at the negative or always complaining, and you wonder, why did more bad shit happen to these people? Well, they're perpetuating their story. That's a story. It isn't who they are. It's a mindset. They're looking for it and they'll find it, right? So this is the number one thing. And in coaching, like we're doing right now, this is kind of a coaching session, launch session. We believe in coaching people on a baseline level. I'll talk about it in a minute, but we have 13 seminars a month that we do, just baseline. So there's going to be a seminar going on at 10 a.m. here, how to simplify your life with tech. Like we're always bringing in what's new on the street level. And then the culture, the people, right? I always say our culture is we're fun and we're a little street. Like we're not stuck up people. We're kind of like a little street, but we're fun. We're like, I believe if you're not having fun in real estate, then I have to either try to fix it or you got to do something else, right? So here's our core beliefs. You're the magic. So from the very first time I met Gil, he was like, hey, don't worry about this Exit Realty logo or whatever. It's like, it's about you. People do business with you because they like you and they trust you. Build your personal brand. You're the magic, right? So obviously we want you to build an ethical brand, a professional brand. So we expect for you to keep that high integrity brand, but really build your own thing. Find your own niche. Create your own logo. That's the beauty about EXP is they want you to have individuality. That's why when you talk to a broker, sometimes you talk to brokers and EXP are very caught up in being a broker. One of the main things that they ask you is, can I keep my brand? Can I keep my yes, you can keep it. You just can't be realty or you can't be properties. You got to be, whatever team or whatever group or whatever homes, right? So you're the magic. Remember that. And we're always going to talk about building your brand. You don't have to build it. Yeah, EXP is a great product and we'll talk a little bit about that, but it's about you. Okay. Leaders create leaders. This is huge because look, EXP is one of the it's the only model I've ever seen. The reason I'm in is because the only model that has wealth building and retirement built into into the program. Okay. There are no retirement plans for agents. It's basically just do more deals, and that's not good, right? So I've been trying to solve what I call the income problem in real estate for a long time. And when I saw this model, I was like, holy shit, they figured it out. They figured out how to solve the income problem. What does that mean? That means that you're going to get paid for helping grow the company, for attracting agents to the company. So the only way you're going to do that well is, one, to become a leader yourself, right? You got to become a leader. You got to become the type of person that can build an organization. But then and the next step is, if you want to get wealthy, is you got to duplicate yourself. Okay? You're not going to get rich by trading hours for dollars. You only have 24 hours a day. You can only do so much. But 100 of you can do amazing things, right? So just to give you some perspective, Gil and I started, he built a brokerage up for 4 or 5 years and was able to get about 100 agents. He would just fluctuate around that. I mean, he built that all the way up and will fluctuate around 100. Since we started in the EXP model 10 months ago, we're now at 583. Okay, that was in 10 months. Why is that? Well, we're creating other generals here. Jennifer Encarnacion is what we call a general. She's a leader. Jennifer Encarnacion herself has 60 people of those 583 people. Just one single mom who's about to make, $60,000 a year in residual income, starting off in our first 12 months. That's just one person. I just need 5 more of her and I'm done. Seriously. So what do you want to do? You want to be a good leader so you can create leaders. That means you have the responsibility to bring other people up. That's what we want you to do. That's what I love about this system. We're all interconnected, right? I have a responsibility to you. I have a responsibility to you. But guess what? You also have a responsibility to her, and vice versa, and the people that you attract. Okay? And then finally, this is Gil's quote from the beginning is, action get results. The only mistake you can make, really, as long as you have a good intention in your heart, and you're not trying to do something unethical, the only mistake is not to take action. The only mistake is just saying, I'm going to sit here and I'm not going to make an action, right? Because I'd rather you make a mistake because you took action and then not take action at all, right? Go talk to that person. Go knock on that door. Go do that open house. Say yes. Start getting into motion. Start taking some action. And you'll learn stuff along the way, and don't beat yourself up. You were never perfect at anything you never did before in your entire life. Why would you start now, right? Even if you've never done real estate, you're not going to be that great at it at first, right? But you guys are sharp people. You're going to have a knack for it, right? You're going to pick stuff up quickly, but don't beat yourself up. I'd rather you take the action. We'll fix it. Whatever it is, we'll fix it. And by the way, if you're a new agent and you're going to be in my program, all the contracts go through me. So I'm not, the things that are really important, I'm not just going to let you go do that. Okay. You're going to run them past me. I'll tell you what's up. I'll make you try things, before they come to me to make some mistakes. I want you to make some mistakes. Give me a shitty contract.
I'll make mistakes.
Yeah. Give me a shitty contract, please. But the fact that you went through it and did it and answered the question. I mean, I've had agents that are so scared about making mistakes. I said, look, I want you to fill in everything. And then I get the contract and half of it's filled. Like, well, I didn't know what to put there. I'm like, okay, you're not understanding. I want you to put something there, whatever you guess, because it doesn't matter to me if you screwed it up.
Can I ask?
Sure.
That's interesting because obviously, let's say I'm selling the house to this lady and I say, oh, Bobby says, just get her to, so I'll fill in the contract, whatever. And I think, sign please, lady, and she signed away. But now we've got a signed contract. Well, I haven't shown it to you. And I kind of think, well, who knows whether I fill that in right? I've gone and got this lady to sign, and I've just looked at her and I've given her I'm in charge.
Right.
When I take it to you, say, yes, did you make a sign? Did you make a sign that? And I said, yeah. You said, action.
Right. But I did say all contracts go through me, right?
So
before you go to that listing appointment, I will make sure that thing's filled out properly.
Okay. So before I go
Correct.
to her.
Right. Before you get somebody to sign something, it will go through.
All right. But then when we're there, then she says, oh, do you know, can we just put this amendment in? Oh, can we put that amendment? Now I've come from you, shall I say, with it all laid out. Now there's always a couple of adjustments.
Sure.
I've bought a lot of properties in my life, but now I've got to, I think, oh, should I phone Bobby now and just sort of say, she changed clause 5.
So you see what he's doing with his mindset, right? He's actually playing out stories that never happened, right? But he's also already anticipating. rebuttals, questions he can't answer. No,
Yeah.
I know why you're doing it.
I know.
I know you're trying to prepare. What
Correct.
I'm telling you is we're going to get you as prepared as possible, and then
Right.
whatever mistakes you make after that, I'm cool with. We'll fix it.
Okay.
Like those things don't happen as often as you think. But,
Really?
yeah, and there's not
Okay.
much that we're going to let them adjust on the contract. The
Okay.
contract is written; it's in legal terms, you know.
Okay.
So don't worry so much about that.
Okay. I
Okay?
won't.
Don't worry so much about that. Okay. So here's kind of the core team. Obviously, you've got Gil. If you have never met Gil, I call him closer. But Gil was the one who was the #1 exit broker for Exit Realty. We had the #1 exit office in the state of Florida. Not only for 4 years running, but his first 4 years, right?
Wow.
So he became a broker. Literally told the people at Exit Florida, "I'm going to be the #1 broker in the state." They laughed at him, and then he was the #1 broker in the state, right? So he's that kind of guy, okay? And that's why I'm partners with him. Okay, and then me, I'm the director of agent development. I help mentor the agents, and I also run the coaching program. Just so you know, we're expanding the mentorship program a little bit. We're asking people to become EXP certified mentors, and then they're going to start running through a program that I'm going to put for more coaches. Because as we grow, we're going to need more help. Okay. Then Marissa, I call her the glue. She is like anything that you need, that you just don't know any questions, you can ask Marissa. And actually, we have Dana Bonacchi helping us out too. So, but Marissa is like, I call it the office mom. She's the glue that keeps the whole thing together, right? And then just so you know, we have a council here that meets every single Monday. We meet here. There's about 7, 8 of us, which includes not only Gil and myself and Marissa, but also Biagio, which is Marissa's husband, Christy Veman, who runs multiple teams within the office, Jennifer Cracion, and Jennifer Scheinberg, who runs accounting, and then also Dan Rojas, who's one of our kind of top, generals, leaders, techie guy. He'll be teaching the class here shortly. So what do we meet every Monday to figure out how to make you guys more money, how to make you guys more productive, how to keep you guys happy, how to grow together. So that's what we do. Let's see. The mentorship program. So as I told you, we have something called a talent development program. So just so you know, whoever your mentor is, isn't the program. The program in itself is actually everything that we provide here. So I told you, every single month we're going to have a cert. If you have this calendar, you see this is a tip. I mean, this is actually a slow month because it's December. It's a holiday month. But there is a class every Tuesday. There's a class every Thursday. We do lunch and learns every second, third, and fourth Friday of the month. We might stick some new ones in there. I've got agents now because leaders create. I say leaders that create leaders that create coaches. So now I have people who are saying, "Hey, can I invite people? Can I do a class on a Wednesday night?" Sure. Hey, can I host a call night to make calls and do? Absolutely, right? So we're getting people to take ownership of their own organizations, because there are people like Dan Rojas and Jennifer Cracion who have now, you essentially have a brokerage with no expenses and no liability, right? So, and if you're going to create residual income, you're going to want to provide them massive value, right? So we have stuff like that going on. So in addition to the 13 seminars we do and the lunch and learns and the Tuesdays and the Thursdays, every other month we do something called the Alliance Bootcamp. And that's a 3-day intensive, basically coaching seminar where we go through everything real estate. We believe in kind of the 3 stages, which is connecting with people, connect, cultivate relationships, and then close, right? Those are the kind of the 3 things that we teach. And then within those 3 days, I teach how to write a winning contract. Gil teaches about how to figure out personality profiles and who you're talking to and how to talk to that person, right? We're big into like DISC profile, which is one of the personality tests. Like you can go on the Tony Robbins site, you can do one for free. And so I've gotten good, he's gotten good. It's like immediately when people start doing a couple things, you're like, oh, I'm talking to a D. Oh, I'm talking to an I. And then you just talk to them different. You talk to them different. Oh, this person likes details. I'm gonna do the detail thing. Okay, this person just wants to get things done and moving. Can't write it. Like Gil's a perfect example. Gil is like D's like a dominant. They don't need details. They're ready. They're ready, fire, aim people. They're just like, let's kick the door down. We'll figure out the rest. If I write him an email this long, it will forget it. Forget it. So what I'll do is I'll just do that same email in pieces. I'll ask him one question. He'll answer that question. I can't even ask him 2 questions in a text without him forgetting to answer the fucking second question. That's fucking frustrating. Like, he'll answer one, and I'm like, bro, what about the other thing that I asked you? He didn't even read the second sentence. Okay. So we have the Alliance Boot Camp as well. So all of that is included as part of the program, plus the having a mentor. So if you're not on the power team, so we do have a few mentors here. We have Dan Rojas and Tom Simino. They primarily take care of their own team. They have their own team called the Power Team within the program. Like I said, everybody's allowed to kind of build their own organization within the organization. So they take the Power Team people. I take everybody else. Like I said, I've been doing it for 3 years. So how do you use me effectively? Well, one, if it's something like you have a listing appointment, okay, and it's something we need to prep you up, so we got to get you through the contracts, we got to get you through the comps, we got to get you through the presentation. Okay, well, try to give me like 24 hours heads up. So if your appointment's on Wednesday, let's meet on Tuesday, but schedule me on Monday or the week before. That way, it's not like, oh my God, it's happening today, and it's like, okay, well, my schedule's already been booked for days, you know. So stuff like that is more labor intensive. You know, let me know in advance. Every other thing like urgent deal matters, I'm 24/7. Text me first. You know, wherever I'm at, it could be my family, it could be at dinner, I could be at a bar. Okay, but if you text me and I can answer quickly, I will answer. If I can't and I need to talk to you, I'll say, hey, give me 10 minutes, I'll call you, and then we'll go through something. Or hey, Bobby, somebody wants to submit a contract. Can I send it to you? Yes, you can send it to me. The great thing about technology is I can look at contracts anywhere, right? So I could literally like walk away from a bar and be like, okay, I'm gonna fix line 44 like this, and I'll tell you exactly what to do, and then we'll fix it up and we'll get it submitted. Okay, because time kills all deals. We cannot delay on submitting contracts.
I'm scared to ask, because I'll be accused of.
Don't be scared. I was picking on you earlier.
No, it's fine. That's fine. But let's say I go, meet someone and I go and take them to view a house, and I do have a bit of a gift of the gab, right? So I've sold encyclopedias in my life. So so I convince the person to put an offer in. Then I think, oh no, I can't do that. I mean, what do I do?
So you're worried about something you haven't learned that you can't do right now, and you're anticipating that you're going to get a contract.
I know, you're going to shoot me again. The point about it is if the person's hot, and I've taken them to see something that, I don't know.
We'll figure it out. Here's the deal.
We'll figure it out.
Here's the deal. I have a website, so write this down. This will make you feel better. Okay, www. You can write this down too. .join.
Yeah.
tdp.com /videos. If you want to learn today, this second, how to write a winning contract, I did that already on video. You can watch it. This is what I'll say. If you want to anticipate everything, watch all the videos. No. But if you want to feel just a little bit more comfortable going, here's what we'll do. We're gonna make sure that if that happens, one, go through boot camp. I'm gonna teach winning contracts. The first week of every month, I'm gonna teach comps and contracts. Okay, that's when a new thing.
Will that go boot camp? Will they go on here, Bobby, on the calendar?
Yes, next month. It's every other month. So January is gonna be the next one. But don't worry, doesn't mean same thing. If you wanna learn that beforehand, if you have to write a contract, then I will help you no matter what time it is, whatever it is. We will write that. You will not have to do that on your own and hope good things happen. Sure. Okay. So.
Sure.
Okay. So it's on there. So watch the winning contract class. Matter of fact, if you want to practice one, if you want to practice a contract, do it. And beforehand, so you can feel even more prepared. You sound like a guy that wants to be prepared. I like that. You have some of that C personality in you. You like to know the details. You like to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm the same way.
I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah. But
if I've got them hot, I want to execute.
Right. No, absolutely. So here's the deal. This will help me out a lot because I have a lot of the same personality traits as you. What happens oftentimes is that when you're high C personality, meaning you know the details and all that stuff, you often get paralysis by analysis. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
And I used to be more this way. It takes work. It's a muscle you have to build. Doesn't mean you just go do, because everybody thinks everything's black and white. Like, oh, well, I have to throw out all strategy and learning, and be this person. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that at the point that you feel that you are holding yourself back and there's not much more analysis that can be done, you need to let it go and move, right? The one thing Tony Robbins said, so we're big Tony Robbins fans here. You know what Tony Robbins is? Yeah. So I've been to 8 of his events, and one thing he said at an event really shifted me. And he said, perfection is the lowest standard.
Is a low standard.
It's the lowest standard.
Whoa.
Why? Because you can't achieve perfection. So what happens? It's not a real thing. So you're trying to achieve something that can't be achieved. So what happens? Either you scare yourself from even trying to achieve this thing, or you try something, you're not perfect, and you beat yourself up so much you never try again. That's what perfection does. Your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to be outstanding. That's something different. That's playing at a very, very high level, okay? And that doesn't mean that you don't make mistakes. That means you make a mistake, you learn something, and you push forward, right? So that helped me a lot when he said that. And I was like, man, because I used to say the same thing, dude, I'm a perfectionist. And I used to actually think that was a thing, like a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is good. And then he said that, and it shifted me, man. I dropped it. I was like, I gotta stop this thing, beating myself up like that. Okay, so let me go through the core values of the talent development program. So I have my own personal core values for the program. Okay, number 1 is deals over everything. What do I mean by that? That means that the best way for you to learn is to have a deal to work on, right? Which means that above all else, above all, every class that we're doing, whatever, if you tell me, Bobby, I can't make classes, I'm going to go get a deal, fine. If you tell me, Bobby, I had an appointment with you, I'm going to cancel it because I got to go get a deal, fine. Because deals will help you learn the best, right? Because you know there's a check on the other side. You have that motivation, that drive, and it'll stick, okay? I also mean that deals, time, I told you, time kills all deals. So you gotta, when you have something, work it. Like it's your baby. Deals are everything, right? So, and especially when you're starting off, my job is to make sure you don't go broke. It's a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? So this is the only thing that fixes it. That's it. Okay? So how do you do that? Well, you connect with more and more people. Everybody's your client. Everybody. And you have to have faith. This is not as much of a hunting thing as it is a farming thing. You know, you go out, you plant seeds, you water their seeds, and you have to keep doing it. And what happens? Well, a month from now, one of those things springs out, and you're like, oh, I got a deal. Okay? Well, guess what? Then they give you a referral. Oh, another plant came up, and then you have a harvest, and then your job is to continue to plant seeds and water the plants so that you always have deals. Starting off, it's kind of like getting the thing started. So yes, it's going to be slow at first, and you might be like, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Don't worry. Keep connecting with more people. Keep having those appointments, and be curious. Curious people make more money. Don't worry so much about having to tell people things. Worry about asking a lot of questions. That's your only job. People want you to care about them, and you need to learn about their life. What are their goals for 20? We're about to hit a new decade. That's the best question you can ask in December. Hey, what are your goals for this next decade? What are your goals for 2020? What can I help you with? Out of curiosity, is real estate part of your goals in 2020? Is investing in real estate, is buying your first home part of your goals in 2020? Ask some questions, okay? Number 2 is outlearn the competition, okay? Well, Michael Reese, which is our upline, right? Michael Reese is one of the founders of National Association of Expert Advisors. We just happen to be fortunate enough to be part of this lineage in EXP, right? There's a lot of family trees in EXP, and I say this with a lot of confidence that we are the best family tree, okay? The people above us, they call themselves Honey Badger Nation, right? It's Jay Kinder and Mike Reese who had a multi-million-dollar coaching organization and now give us those products essentially free because they're like, hey, we want to make everybody productive, right? So one thing Mike Reese said when we were in Las Vegas, he said, look, you got to outlearn the competition because if I outlearn the competition, they'll never catch me, right? If you want to be a great agent, which there's not that many, people say, oh, there's so many real estate agents. Yeah, but there's not that many great ones. Right? You want to be great, you have to have a commitment to learn. You're worried about that contract? You should come to me tomorrow and say, I watched that class, man. I watched the winning contract thing, and I got a couple questions for you. But get in that motion of like, if I don't know it, I'm going to research it, right? Because I didn't have a talent development program when I started here, but I always had a drive to know. I want to know. So we just happen to live in an age, I'm 40, so I'm not as young as you think. So we grew up in an age when we didn't have the internet. Guys, you can literally basically have a little genie that you can type things in and ask questions to. Do it. Do it before you even talk to me. I shouldn't be your Google.
Should I actually, because I actually clicked on it this morning, just went into it, should I do everything that my grease, I mean, there's about 10 little bubble.
It's
Should I
short.
do
It's short.
everything?
It'll take all of it. Well,
Because it said watch videos, and I thought, whoa, don't have time, gotta
no,
come here.
it actually doesn't take that long. No, there's no video much longer than 2 minutes.
But all of these little, there's about 10 buttons there to start. Should I watch everything or do everything?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Everything.
Okay, that's fine.
And then number 3 is focus on solutions. Okay, look, there's so many, people love talking about problems. I think that that's the biggest waste of time that there is talking about problems, because you can identify a problem in like a split second, and repeating the problem is not what we need to do. What we need to do is shift our energy into the solution, right? Why do I say this? Because deals get messy. Guys, you're dealing with real estate, which means not only right now you're in a situation where you're learning a bunch of shit, but you're going to get a deal, and there's about 30 people involved in your deal, from appraisers to title companies to listing agents to buyers agents to buyers to sellers. And I used to be in the mortgage business. I used to say on any transaction is about 30 people, and right now about 5 of them are fucking up. Right? It's going to get a little bit messy. Your job is not to go on the emotional up and downs of the deal. Your job is to be the calm in the storm and say, don't worry, I'll make a few calls, I'll handle that. I was just talking to one of my clients 2 nights ago. She wants to do a refinance now, but I helped her buy her home. Well, she bought a new construction home in a 55 plus community, beautiful place. Had her with the lender for the subdivision. They have their own lenders usually. They give you an incentive to use their lender, right? They'll give you like $10,000 in closing costs if you do that. I'll say, cool. So months and months go by because they're building the house. They've had all their paperwork and stuff. Literally a month and a half before it's supposed to close, they tell me they can't do our loan. Oh, we just looked at this stuff. I'm like, hey, you've had this stuff. You're telling me now a month and a half on a new construction deal that you guys can't do the deal? So I said, okay, that's cool. She's obviously freaking out. I said, hey, cool Jamaican lady. I was like, Nez, her name is Nez. People call her Nez. I said, Nez, relax. I was like, I've been in the mortgage business before. I know that just because somebody says no, doesn't mean it can't be done, right? I'm going to make some calls. Okay, so I made a call to one person. They said, well, we might have a shot. Boom, they ran it through the approval process. Like, sorry, man, can't do it. I'm like, you serious? I was like, all right, cool. Shifted it to it. I called the second lender. I was like, hey, here's my issue. This is what they're saying. It's a brand new construction. He's a nurse. She makes plenty of money. Like, good credit. Like, was something on her credit, something that she co-signed for her brother or son, and he screwed up like 3-4 years ago. So went to the second person. They denied me again. They said, I can't do it. Blah, blah, blah. Shit. Oh, picked up the phone, called the third guy, said, look, here's my deal. This is that. Can we do it? He's like, yeah, no problem. Just took 3 calls, right? But I was looking for the solution. I wasn't like beating myself up. I can't believe I'm going to lose $8,000. I can't believe this. I can't believe that. What if this happened? I'm just like, dude, I'm laser focused. I need an answer. I need to figure this out because there's a check waiting for me at the end. So that's my 3 values. So I want you guys to focus on that. Okay, so let's talk about some of our partners. So this is our top 2 vendors. We actually have more. I'll add more to the list when we do our next book. But our top 2 people are Celebration Title Group and Home First Lending. Title companies, obviously, when you in our market, sellers usually pick the title company. So this has to do a lot with listings. We would want you guys, especially for your first few deals, to really give these guys a shot. Why? Because all the things that we do, whether it's a seminar, lunch and learn, happy hour, we can't afford to do as many things as we can do without these guys. These guys actually say, hey, look, you guys send us business and we're going to fund these things for you. But we didn't just choose them because they're willing to fund them. They're actually great. Like Celebration Title Group is the top title company, the fastest growing in Florida. Why? Because they're a differentiator. These people have the same energy as us. They're into growth. They're into seeing you grow. They're into personal development. As far as Celebration, they did something real smart. They said, why are all closings so boring and shitty and drab? Like, you go into these rooms, is like beige walls and then some angry person with a stack of papers. I was like, man, you know, for buying your first home, this is kind of a crappy way to end it, you know? You know, so they said, no, we want to make it a celebration experience. So they do champagne, they'll come in there and they'll have great people. The place is actually, you know, if you go to any celebration office, it's like great. I mean, it feels like you're walking in a home, nice wood featured, blah, blah, blah. It does not look like a title company. It looks like a house. It looks like you're coming into a house and you're having a great time. And then then you close and then they give you these confetti cannons and you go like, you flip these confetti and they film the whole thing and the celebration. I'm like, why wasn't anybody doing this stuff? I'm like, it's brilliant. So just know that Celebration Title Group is somebody that you guys want to use. And then Home First Lending, same thing. These guys like Will Butler was one of the first guys to go to Tony Robbins with us. Like these guys believe in the things we believe. They're companies that are growing, and you know, EXP is a growth model. You know, it's an energy model, and so I always say we pick these guys because they're a great energy match. So I've got Javier's information there, but they have several loan officers that can help you as well. So I put the number, the general number, if you ever need help with a loan, and I have them in the book to do one-on-ones with them, so you can actually build a relationship with the professionals, right? Like you want to be able to call them, like, hey, you know, like first name, hey, Javi, how you doing, man? Hey, look, I got a scenario to run past. We got somebody who had a bankruptcy X amount of years ago. This is how much they make. This is that. What do you think we can do for this person? Like, I want you to have that kind of relationship with them. Okay. So here's our class schedule. I won't spend too much time on this. I already told you we do Team Help Tuesday every Tuesday, Team Help Thursday. We do a month. I didn't tell you about this before. Every second Wednesday of the month, except for this month because it's December, we do a monthly sales meeting where we get the company together. We do sales training, and we have breakfast, and we do this. So that's part of the talent development program and what we provide here. And on the third Wednesday of every month, we're going to start doing an agent attraction class in EXP World. So we want people to start getting used to going into EXP World, because like you want to know details, man, there's classes going on all the time, right? So if you want to learn on your own time, you're at home and you're like, hey man, I'm an hour here, let me go in there and take a class.
Do you do all the classes in-house here? The ones online, are they just duplicated here? I mean, is it either or?
No. The ones online is our top agents from around the country, Canada, US, everything, that are teaching in a virtual world live. So it is none of us are doing that.
Okay, but is the subject matter the same? Do you cover that subject matter here?
Yes and no. I mean, we're always going to talk about buying, selling, investing, contracts, no matter where. Commercial real estate, residential real estate. So the general themes, the style is different. So Gil and I actually, you know, we feel like our style is street level real estate tactics, right? So for instance, like Keller Williams always boasted about their training, and that kudos to them. They were smart. They said, man, this is low hanging fruit. If we tell everybody we've got this like comprehensive thing, it's ignite, bold, people, and I still hear agents say, oh, you know, join Keller Williams first to get your training, go there. But I've seen their stuff and I was like, hey, this is cool, but this is big binders full of like, I mean, my eyes went cross-eyed. I was like, oh shit, you know, that's a different style of coaching. You know, our coaching is a little bit different. We're teaching you how to do stuff at a street level, and we're staying on top of whatever's new. Like right now, you know, Dan Rojas, we see him as a talented individual who knows his tech stuff. He's going to teach you a class how to simplify your life with tech. You know, somebody might teach something like that in the EXP World, but we're not waiting. You know, we're going to do it our own style.
Is the information I could learn here on your classes sufficient?
Yes.
To execute?
Yes. Yeah. Remember, we weren't EXP before. This is a value add. And remember, it's also a value add for people you attract to the company, because not everybody's going to be local, right? So what EXP did, it was smart. They put the company in the cloud and they said, let's provide them the tools no matter where they are. So if you have a friend in the UK, you're from the UK, right?
Yep.
They might make any assumptions.
It's obvious.
But you have a friend in the UK, well, they're open in the UK, okay? That means that if you know a friend who's an agent in the UK, you introduce them to the EXP model, they sign up, now you're getting micro referrals on every deal that they do, plus everybody they introduce down to 7 levels. Well, he might not have, obviously he doesn't have access to our local stuff here. So he can just plug into the system. It's all there, okay? And then just in addition, if you want more training, I would suggest you go to Celebration Titles classes. They do about 18 a month. Okay. How to brand yourself, how to do your first podcast, how to set your goal, goal setting, anything that helps you elevate your business. So between us and Celebration Title Group, you're going to get no lack of just comprehensive training. And the beautiful thing about going to classes that vendors host is that there's other agents there from other offices, right? This is a great place to meet some great people, right? And just so you know, we'll talk about this in a second. We'll talk about it in a second, but I'll explain a little bit about agent attraction here in a little bit, because I want you guys to understand that, it's not about selling EXP. It's about really building relationships. Okay, so I told you that our upline is called Honey Badger Nation, which is Jay Kinder and Mike Reese that are the heads of it, but they are also the heads of the National Association of Expert Advisors, which means we get a lot of stuff for free because they're our upline. Matter of fact, you can get this guy on the phone to help close people for you, right? So he does a call every way. If you can get a few people on the phone that want to hear about the EXP opportunity, he's not going to pitch them on the EXP opportunity. He's going to get to know them. He's going to have a great talk with them, and he's got massive credibility, multi-million-dollar coaching organization. He was the #2 Caldwell agent in the world, Jay Kinder. Okay, these aren't guys that haven't done deals. These are guys who made a shit ton of money and have huge credibility. That's why when guys like this join EXP, it moves the stock up, because people are like, wait, why is Jay Kinder joining and Mike Reese joining? Those guys are players. Why did Gil Ramos have the #1 exit office imploded to join the EXP model? Those are questions a lot of people are going to ask. Why is Veronica Figueroa, who's was a RE/MAX superhero here in Central Florida, why did she move over and start doing this with EXP? Leverage these people, okay? So you have exclusive access to the Honey Badger Nation Facebook group. So I was just on there last night. They were doing a live training. It was Jay Kinder and Albie Stasek, who's our other partner. And they were doing about goal setting in 2020. That you can get your free buyer seller certifications if you go to jointdb.com/honeybadger. And you get access to exclusive masterminds. So they'll do stuff in like Key West, the Kentucky Derby, stuff like that. And we get exclusive access to those. Just to obviously pay for your trip and stuff like that. But we get discounts to go to those events. Okay, and then I won't spend too much time on this, but we want to list all the perks you get as part of being our group, because, we are a hybrid model in EXP. Part of the reason EXP was created was because brokerages had too much overhead. And one of the brilliant things that Glenn Sanford did, which is the founder, he said, why do we need brick and mortar? We can eliminate these expenses. Well, why do we need brick and mortar? We feel we need it because of culture and because of coaching, okay? And so we are one of the few major brokerages who have shifted into this model and kept all the local things, such as office space, staff, and all these different things, okay? It's a risky proposition, but we know we can handle it because we're gonna grow. Our job is to grow so fast, which we have, is to make sure that it all catches up and we can make it happen. But in the meantime, just like any brokerage, we charge a transaction fee here. Okay, it's $234. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. You have your client paid, so it's whatever. And I'll explain. It's a little bit more for your client because I want to make sure you guys pay no fees. So I'll show you that if you charge your client $375, you won't pay anything. Okay. But for that $234, hey, guess what? We do your sign installation and removal for free. You get access to our staff. You get access to our conference rooms, our offices. You get access to our coaching. You get access to us. You get a downtown location. You get a green screen studio in the back if you haven't seen it already. You get all of these perks for that. It's not like you're actually paying to get something. Before, when you used to pay transaction fees to a franchise, there's nothing. They're just taking that and paying the franchise. They just had to pay that. So I want you guys to know what we provide here as far as perks. So let's get started on the 4-week plan. So this is one of my favorite quotes. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. I heard Les Brown say that. And it's so true. It's like you said, you can talk about it, you can strategize about it, you can do it, but you got to get started. Mm-hmm. You got to get started. Mm-hmm. So let's call it We Want Action. You had already skipped to this. So congratulations, you just completed your first one, which is your long session with me. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is what he was talking about, which is, hey, look, coming into a new system, all of us had to kind of go through a transition. Like, how do we work the EXP backend system? How do we get set up? How do we do all that stuff? Now, me, I'm the type of person who's like, that's irrelevant to me. I'm deals over everything. So like, I'm the type of person who's like, I'll figure all that out. Look, I know how to use the MLS and I know how to write contracts. Like, and I did. I figured it out, but we wanted to make it easy for you. Mike Reese wanted to make it easy for you, so he created these modules that you were talking about earlier. Couple minutes, answer a few questions, move on to the next module, just to get you set up in the backend system. Because it's just once you get access to your backend, which is EXP Enterprise, you'll have a better understanding. You'll have a better understanding how to get into EXP World. Where the marketing center is. We have a marketing center back there for you. We have document management systems. We have all the sorts of stuff, and your CRM, which is the most important thing. So I will tell you that in the first 30 days, if you do one thing, learn KV Core. Okay, learn KV Core, which is your CRM. Okay, so if you go when you go into this EXP onboard, they'll tell you about how to request your login. It takes about 7 to 10 days for them to give you your login. KV Core is your back end. It is your operating system. Okay, this is you wouldn't start a store without having a back end system to track sales, to do these kind of things, to follow up with your clientele, to get the most business. That's what a KV Core does for you. Besides automated marketing for you. So market while you sleep. It'll remind you who you need to call today. It will give you a dedicated website that captures leads, not just a digital business card, right? So when people go on your site, you can give them your site. Hey, search for properties here. You can see what they're searching, right? And if it's a new client, you post your website on, let's say Facebook, and somebody starts to search on it. Eventually, it'll ask them for their information. I'll ask them, hey, put your name. If you want to continue to search, put your name and email here. Guess what? I get a text when they do that. It goes directly, their information now directly into my system. And KV Core automatically starts putting them on a campaign on its own.
So we need to create our own personal website.
Yes, but it's already created. It's just a matter of
moving it.
They make it as simple as it can be. When you get into it, it'll be there are going to be some modules called KV Core Quick Start. I'll talk about that in a second. Okay. And it'll show you how to do everything. Here's how you set up your profile. Okay. Here's how you set up your website. Here's how you import your contacts. So we're going to get to the importing contacts in a minute. Go ahead and put the Alliance Bootcamp in your calendar now. We don't have it on it's going to be in January. Most likely will be the last week of January. Okay, so as soon as so just kind of know that the last week of January, we do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You're going to want to block those days out. That's a 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 on those 3 days. And then we have a little party to celebrate your graduation on Thursday, like a little happy hour that we do. Okay. I have a video here that I want you to watch. It's at Brett Gove Resources. So Brett Gove is also our upline. Brett Gove was a multi-million-dollar producer with Keller Williams. Said, I will never leave Keller Williams. And some lady approached him after he spoke on stage and had the balls to say, hey, I think you should take a look at this EXP thing. He's like, but he's such a nice guy. He said, fine, I'll take the call. And sure enough, he came into EXP, moved his business over there. And not only is he a multi-million-dollar producer in EXP, so he's going to have a lot of stuff to teach you on this website, Brent Gove Resources. But he's also making approximately $300,000 a month in residual income right now. And he's been in this, I'm going to say 2 to 4 years. I don't know exactly. Okay. So the real deal. So he does a great open house, mega open house video. Watch that because I just want to get you, we do teach open house classes here, but I want you to get started with open houses as soon as possible. So don't wait. Watch this video. Okay, here's where we start actually, organizing how to connect with people. Okay, so starting your Dream 100 list. So basically, all your Dream 100 list is making a list. It could be 500, it could be 50. I don't care. But the people that already know you and like you, or just you have some kind of relationship with. Okay, you're going to create a spreadsheet. It could be a Google spreadsheet, regular spreadsheet. First name, last name, email, phone number, physical address. Those are the things that I want in there. And you're going to organize them. How do you do that? You can go into your Gmail right now or your email system, and you can export them all into a spreadsheet. It'll give you every contact, every person you email. Now, it's a little tedious to put it in this format. You're going to have to take, copy, and paste, move it over to your own spreadsheet to get it cleaned up. But here's the cool part about that. As you do that, you're going to be like, I forgot about that person. I haven't contacted them in a while. Right? Because I'm going to want you to contact everybody on this list. So I want you to organize this list, and I'm going to contact them. If you need a reason to contact them, Ask them for their address. Say, hey, I just got into real estate. I'm kind of organizing my database. I noticed I don't have your actual physical. I'd love to send you a card every once in a while, or some information on what's going on in your neighborhood. Could you give me your actual physical address? And boom, you get their address. And then guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, oh, you're in real estate now? Yeah. Guess what? By organizing this list, I guarantee you'll probably get 3 deals. Just because you called them, right? Because everybody needs real estate.
Or know somebody who does.
Or know somebody who does, right? So as you talk to, exactly right. It's not just them. It's who they know. So as you talk to them and you ask them questions, hey, what do you go to? How you doing? Hey, I want you to always think, though, appointment, face-to-face. Everything in your mind should be leading to a face-to-face appointment somehow. I believe, like you said, you have to get the gap, right?
Well, try.
Well, guess what? You're a charming guy. You're even more charming person than you are over the phone, right? So if you can get that personal connection, so if you can do, I tell people that if I meet somebody, I'm not in person, I'm 90% there, no matter what, because I've already started to build that relationship because I know how to do that. I know how to listen to people. I know how to ask them questions, and I actually genuinely care about what's going on. I want to hear their story. You don't know my magic, my secret to getting clients, to closing listing appointments and buyers consultations. This is my trick. Before we get started, tell me your story. I want to know everything. Now shut up. That's my magic. And then they talk, and as they talk, I ask them one question. Oh, you went to Missouri? Yeah, you look like a built guy. Did you play a sport there? I did. I played football. Really? What position? And it just goes on and on. I'll let that go as long as they want to let it go. Because I'm gathering information. I'm building rapport. I'm building a connection. I'm in my connection phase. And guess what? If you're a great listener, people notice. People notice. I notice when I'm talking to somebody and they get on their phone, I'm immediately like, okay, never mind. Why am I even talking, right?
Yeah.
So create this list with the intention of meeting with some people, right? I don't see nobody fail that sets 3 to 4 appointments a week to sit down with somebody. I'm talking coffee. I'm having them coming here. Hey, why don't you show them a property? Somebody tells you, hey, yeah, I actually am looking to buy one, but I think we're about 6 months out from that. Out of curiosity, why 6 months out? Well, this and that. I'll tell you what, I understand, you're 6 months out, but this weekend, why don't we just go look at some homes together? Let's just look at a couple in an area that you would want. Oh, I don't know if I can afford it. Who cares? Let's just go. There's some new builders out there I want to show you. And get that personal connection with them, especially, and then, and like, if you have somebody who's an I personality, which they like to have fun, than me, I'm an high I. So Gil's a high D. So whatever, when you look at Gil, you say, oh, those are Ds. And then if you look at me, that's an I. That's a guy who likes to talk. That's a guy who likes to socialize. That's a guy who likes people. I like fun. So you're talking to Susie. Hey, Susie, I think it'd be fun. She's a high I. I think it'd be fun if we just went and looked at a property this week. Let's look at a couple properties. Let's have some mimosas and then just go look at some properties. Guess what? After you have that personal connection, she might refer you to somebody. She might say, you know what? I might be closer than I think. I tell you what, the first step, I tell you what, why don't I set you up with my mortgage broker? Let's just find out where you are. Because I don't want you to miss out on the fact that interest rates are historical lows. You can now buy more than you will in 6 months because the rates will go up and you can't buy as much. So you're gonna buy a worse house and you're gonna pay more. Let's just figure out where you are. And then you moved her to that next step. And then once she sees that she can afford the $300,000 house, and you just went and looked at some new construction for $300,000, now the stuff starts to come together, right? And then finally, this is just a kind of more logistics thing, but I put that on there because some people don't actually know that they have to at some point sign up with the Orlando Regional Realtor Association, and you have to get the MLS and all that good
Is
stuff.
that the same place where you get the MLS?
Yes, exactly.
The two it's one hit on Lee Road, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one on Lee Road. Correct. And by the way, we have probably the best. We definitely have the best organization association in the state, but we're actually the number 8th largest organization in the country. And so we have one of the best MLSs in the country. We do. So we're fortunate that we have them. All right, week 2. So now you've got your KV Core password. I want you to go into that KV Core Quick Start. So when you log into KV Core, right on the top right, it says, want to start your KV Core Quick Start program. And same thing, it'll be kind of like the Mike Reese thing. I'll take you module through module, just simple. Hey, here's how you set up your profile, how you get set up. Here's how you take that list, that Dream 100 list that I had to do. Here's how in one shot you import them all in there at once. And now they're all there organized, and you can actually go in there and say, oh, this is a potential buyer, this is a potential seller. This is my sphere of influence. You can label them. So literally, let's say they're your sphere of influence, like that whole group should be your sphere of influence, right? So you want to do a sphere of influence campaign. You want to like tell them, hey, I just want to wish you guys happy holidays, blah, 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 and do a video, email to them. You know, click, email them all at once, send them a video, email, and just wish them, hey, in the new year, if your goals in the new year have anything to do with real estate, I would just love to be a resource for you. Whether you work with me or not, I just want to talk to you about it. So just know you can call me anytime about it. Happy holidays. Boom. Out of that Dream 100 list, somebody's going to reach out, right? That's business. Okay. Number 2 is create a top 25 list of agents and brokers that we want to start talking to them about EXP. Okay. Not talking about EXP, but people that we're going to start bringing into the company. So people, I want you to have just like a client list. You're going to want to have people that as you meet an agent, you know, you just met Janice. She's cool, great energy. You know, like put her on your list and say. And I always look back at my list, and I'm not. You know, the first rule of EXP is we don't talk about EXP, right? We're going to get to know somebody. So my magic to attracting agents is number 1, make a friend. Number 2, find a way to add massive value. And number 3, invite them to something. So I might meet Janice at a networking event. I talked to Janice. I connected with her. I found out that she's at a brokerage right now that doesn't have any coaching. Nobody supports her. And that it's freaking cemetery in there, right? So I was like, cool. Well, tell you what, since you're not getting any coaching, you know, would it be valuable to start coming in some of our classes? You know, because you're absolutely welcome. Matter of fact, I'm teaching on Friday. If you want to come in, you can be my personal guest. With that, I would love it. It's a lunch and learn. We take care of your lunch. Great. Boom. Invite her to that. And then I'll let the culture close it. When they feel the energy, when they feel the passion of the people around here, when they feel that there's training and coaching, they're going to be like, you know what? Well, tell me more about this EXP thing. Sure. Let's sit down and talk about it. Okay. That's the magic. That's it. You're really just building relationships the same way you would with a client, right? You know, you're not going to build a good relationship with a client going, you want to buy, sell, invest. You want to buy, sell, invest. When you're going to get to know them, you're going to build a relationship. So be sure to attend our agent attraction class in EXP World. I mentioned we're going to start doing that every 3rd Wednesday. Watch the orientation class in EXP World. They have a great orientation to EXP. Watch it in there. It'll get you used to being in the world. Watch the orientation. It happens every day, I believe, at noon. Almost every day at noon. And if you ever want to know what classes are on EXP calendar, if you actually Google EXP calendar, the EXP classes will pop up because it's searched so much. So this is just another logistical thing. Just so you know, once you have the MLS, they don't automatically let you list properties until you take a little online class called the Add Edit class. Okay, so I try to make this site this is a site that I built to put everything in a centralized location. So jointdp.com has a lot of resources in there, and I just try to make everything as easy for you guys to find. And then finally, week 2, invite at least 1 agent from another brokerage, a new agent or soon-to-be new agent to one of our classes or events. Okay, dude, you guys work that muscle. You know, for instance, tomorrow I'm doing my first. I call the class. You know, they have these classes that are they usually call them EXP Explained because EXP is a different type of model. It's not easy to understand. So I'm calling my class EXP Curious, right? And I actually make that like a dictionary definition. You're EXP Curious. That means that you're an agent or broker who wants to find out more about EXP but doesn't want to be pitched, right? That's my definition. So I'm doing that tomorrow. Hey, if you know somebody who's EXP Curious, right? Because not everybody needs to be cultivated like that. There are actually some people like I heard about that. I just haven't had anybody really explain to me what it's really about. Invite them tomorrow, 12 to 2. Okay, lunch provided. Okay, so work that muscle. Week 3. So because of our partnership with Home First Lending, we're going to get you free headshots, right? So you don't have to pay for that anymore. So you just email that this person here, call them up, set up an appointment. The camera guy's going to take a great picture of you, and now we can use that for your cards, your branding, and everything like that. Because of our partnership with Celebration Title Group, I have access to their chief marketing officer. She is brilliant. She's funny. And she just has these amazing creative ideas. So she can help you build your brand, build a logo, help you with your Facebook page, show you how to post better on Instagram and get business that way. It's whatever you want that session to be. She is absolutely fantastic at it. And I don't say that lightly because I have a very high standard for creative people. And when I met her, I'm like, she's actually good. And then because of our partnership with Home First, I have you doing a one-on-one with Javier Rivas. I want you to meet a mortgage broker. Like I said, it doesn't have to be Javier, but meet with somebody there, do one-on-one. Hey, I just want to meet with you and learn a little bit about the products and the programs.
Are they at the same place, Bob? Both Javier, or are they? I know one's First Lending and one's something.
No, they're not in the same place.
They're
They're both downtown.
Both.
Yeah, but they're two separate companies.
Okay.
And then, okay, so for my social, so what I learned over the past 3 years is like sometimes people come in and they're like, social media is like a foreign animal to me, and I just don't, whatever. Here's the deal. There's nothing different about social media. I mean, like I always tell people that say, oh, I'm on a computer, I'm not a tech person. I was like, dude, being a tech person is reading and clicking. Okay. Same thing. Nobody knows tech. Like nobody who's a techie opens up the computer and is like, oh, I get it. They start playing around. They start looking. They start out learning the competition. So anyway, I created some very simple things to start getting you business through social media. One simple thing is just post one thing a day. Let's just get into that muscle. Post one thing a day. Or right now, you could take a picture with your new UK friend and say, hey, we're here at the launch session with a
I've been here a number of years.
And I could be in the background like this with the launch session in the back and say, hey, I just attended the launch session, with some of my real estate friends, learning so much about the industry. That's it. It could be something about your family. It could be something that doesn't matter. Okay. But if you start posting more often, I always say, make it more about you, your personality, who you are, rather than real estate, especially on your personal page. Your business page, which is something you create attached to your personal page, there you could always put real estate stuff. My real estate page is about real estate because people opt in to hear that. On your personal page, you've got so many friends, you don't want to push them off. And now every time somebody requests me and their whole personal page is just home pictures and stuff, I'm like, dude, this is just advertising. It's not your blog, it's your advertising, right? So if you post 4 times a day, I'd say 3 about you and your life and your energy and your family and all that stuff, and then 1 about real estate. Or do what I like to do, which I kind of combine them. See, that picture I just told you we could take right now is not a salesy picture, but there's a little reminder in there that I'm in real estate. Okay, that's what I like to post about. I might post a picture of me teaching a class on writing a winning contract, and I almost always don't even say anything about the fact that I'm like, it's real estate. Like it's funny. Like I reshared a post that somebody said about us we just brought on a really big agent to our family, and we did this like kind of celebration event or whatever. And rather than talk about that, which is what the post talked about, it was a great picture of me, Gil, and this guy, and standing in a room full of people. I made a joke about myself about being short. Because like I was standing in the back and I looked, and these guys were both tall, and I was standing long distance, so it looked like I was even shorter. I didn't talk about that. I didn't talk about bringing that guy on. I talked about the fact that I should stand closer to the camera because I look too freaking short. You know what I'm saying? But there's a reminder in there. You see what I'm saying? So that to me is like the sweet spot for your personal profile. If you can do stuff like that, because I really do live, eat, and breathe real estate. Like I don't know, and so that is my life. But I don't want pushing a bunch of crap on people. Okay, you were gonna ask something.
Yeah, I just this social media and I was thinking, do you have a separate phone for your communications? I mean, I have one phone which I just get reminders to pay debts and from lawyers and God knows whatever.
Right.
But and I kind of like think to myself, do you use a different phone? Is it the norm for people to have
no, I don't
a dedicated phone?
Nah, most people don't, but it's not a terrible idea. And one thing you could do is get a Google number. Okay. A Google number you can get, and I believe it's free. So get yourself a Google number. And what will happen is when your phone rings, it'll say Google number. So you'll know it's coming from the particular thing that you're doing.
So with my existing phone?
Correct. It'll forward it to your phone, but when it rings, it'll say Google number, and you'll know this is a business call.
Well, that's quite interesting because the only thing is, when I tried to download some of the apps last week, I just haven't got any capacity on my damn
your phone?
On my phone. And I thought, gee, how am I going to get around that? Because the lecture last week was all about download or was it Simple
Right,
Scanner
right, right.
Pro? and
Well, you might have
Nano?
a bunch of stuff on your phone you don't need, which you can
I
get rid
know.
of.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Or go to your service provider and say, hey, look, I'm having some, you
I know.
you might be
Yeah,
$5 a month away from having everything you want.
Correct.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Okay.
Okay. So this is my favorite strategy. You guys want to get business right now through your social media. Do you have a Facebook profile?
No.
Okay. Do you have a Facebook profile?
No.
Okay.
Well, I do, but I do have a Facebook, but I'm not really.
You know, really. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you start getting into the habit of posting some things and got your Facebook profile, just to have it, you'll find out, hey, you know what? It's a lot easier to connect with people. You got to use it for what you need it for. The problem with social media is people use it for dumb shit, like telling you way too personal stuff
Yeah.
that you don't need to put out
I don't care how many times in the bathroom. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
there. Right. But here's the great part is that you can do it any way you want to, right? So if you look at my Facebook profile, you'll see I'm not in there taking 1,000 selfies of myself, or I'm not in there telling you about a breakup. I'm not in there telling you about who fucking died. Okay, I don't do that. It's a blog about the cool things about my life and staying connected with people and adding some value if I can. Do it your way. But here's the cool part. Everybody else doesn't do it that way, which means you get to find out a lot of information. Okay, and this is why this is important. So this green light strategy, what happens is since you guys don't have a Facebook profile, you might not know, but you got a little friends tab. And you go out and if you click on your own friends, it actually shows you who's online right now, like who's in Facebook right now. And my green light strategy is that there's a green dot next to all of them. That's why I call it the green light strategy. If you go in there and you contact 10 people a day by adding value to their page. So they say, oh, Jim's on. I can see, I go to Jim's page. I see Jim just posted that his son graduated from something. Write a comment. Hey, Jim, I just want to say congratulations. It's been a while, blah, blah, blah. With the intention of eventually sending him a direct message in Messenger and saying, hey, by the way, are you free to catch up anytime soon? I'd love to get some coffee with you and catch up. 10 people a day. That's 70 people a week. You should easily be setting up 2 to 3 appointments the following week. Coffee, lunch, bring by the office, come see them, whatever. You're just connecting. Connect. People say, how do I get this? I've never paid for a lead. Why? Because I love connecting with people. And I just do it consistently. Okay, I got a call just last night. Okay, so I teach a class where I say, who's got your money, right? Who's got your money? So what the premise of that is a guy named Grant Cardone, right? Who's one of these guys, a big real estate guy. He's got books, he does seminars, all stuff. So he has this saying, who's got my money? What he means by that is all the things you pay for, you don't have to pay for. Somebody else can pay for those things for you. If you go to the grocery store, somebody in that grocery store needs to pay for your groceries. And how do you do that? Well, you got to connect with somebody and then you got to get a deal, right? So I mentioned to my class, I said, look, I work this with my gym, right? So I was suffering because I get bored easy. I love to train. And I was going to join a second gym just so I can get like a little bit of everything. And I was like, man, I got to spend another $70 a month now with this new gym. And I was suffering a little bit about it. But then I kind of remembered like, wait, who's got my money? I'm like, wait, I just need to I go to group classes anyway. So I'm around people all the time. I was like, I just need to get one deal, and I paid for this for like 10 years. I was like, I just need one deal. Well, sure enough, about 6 months in, I got a purchase from somebody on my one gym. And then about 2 months after that, I hear the gym owner saying, oh, you got to talk to Bobby about that. Because, I made a relationship with the gym owner. So you got to talk to Bobby about that. It was like a $1.5 million commercial deal. I mean, still working with that one because those are a little tougher, but I was like, that's all you got to do. So I got a call last night from Deontay, who was one of the top stars in our office, and he says, hey, man, I just want to call you and say thank you. He's like, I just left my salsa class, and I remembered, he's like, I was in that class, I remember you saying, who's got my money? He's like, I just picked up a deal for my salsa class. Okay? The deals are everywhere.
Would you put your business card? I know it's very old-fashioned. Put your business card up on a notice board at the gym. I'm at 24.
Yeah, I did that at my gym. I asked them, hey, is there a place where people leave business cards? I go to this place called JJ's Fusion here. I see freaking Dan Rojas' stack of cards every fucking time I go in there.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because I don't put my cards in there too. But yeah, absolutely. Say, hey, go to the owner gym. Hey, is there a place where you guys put stuff for people? I'm like, I'm in real estate. I'd love to put my stack of my cards or some flyers somewhere. Oh, I did it. And this gym is like, yeah, that table right there. I'm like, great, cool. No, the realtors were on that table. I just put my stack
Sure.
of cards right there. Okay, so green light strategy, 10 people a day. Remember, starting to set appointments. Okay, finally, week 4 actions. So week 4 actions are all about money. Let's do dollar productive activities. So I want you to schedule at least 2 open houses a month. Okay, they don't have to be your open houses. It can be somebody else's open house. But just do it. Hey, somebody says, "Oh, I already got somebody doing them this weekend." Do you have anybody doing them during the week? No? Great. You got 5 days you can choose from. Do an open house. It's how I started my business here. It's one of the best ways. I mean, imagine, I told you the most powerful thing is to meet people in person. What if you were to set up an event where people just come to you and walk in the freaking front door
Yeah.
and you get to talk to them and you get to use that sexy accent of yours? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah.
imagine that.
I
Imagine
know.
Yeah, that's it.
But
That's-
how do I actually get onto that gravy train of saying, just walk around
talk to
here and say,
Talk
give
to
me an open
Marissa.
house. Talk to
Marissa.
Marissa.
The glue. Talk to Marissa. Say, hey, I'm
Will
looking
give
at
me
you.
an open house.
I'm looking for anybody who has listings in the office to do an open house. But I'm going to show you another way to get on the gravy train in a second. Okay. Number 2 is prospect daily. I've given you multiple ways you can reach out to people during your day. I've already told you how to do your Dream 100 list. I've already told you how to do the green light strategy. I already told you what you need to do is you need to minimum connect with 10 people a day. One, whether it's text, whether it's a social media message, whether it's an email, whether it's in person, okay? And it doesn't matter who it is or what it is, set buyer and seller appointment, that counts, coffee meetings, FISBO appointments, investor meetings, meeting with business people who can become great referral sources. Most people with money have 3 people in their life. And I heard this at a talk. He's like, it's LAF, LAF. What do they have? L?
Love.
No. Three types of people that rich people have in their life. 3 types of professionals.
Lawyers.
Lawyers.
Yeah.
A.
Accountants.
Okay. F.
Friends.
Financial advisors.
Oh, financial advisor.
Aren't those great people
Yeah.
to connect with? Isn't it great to find event? I look for lawyer events. Like dude, Gray Robinson, which is one of the huge law firms in town, I somehow got on their list and they were like, "Oh, we're having an event." I'm like, "Well, I want to be there. It's a free event. There's lunch served." I'm just trying to connect with people who deal with high-level people, which, by the way, lawyers also buy homes too, but they're great referral sources. So I don't care what the meetings are, but usually you want to connect with those 10 people before 10:15, right? Because almost all successful people do their prospecting at the beginning of the day, so you can leave the rest of the day open for your appointments. Okay, prospecting is the most important thing you can do. And to me, prospecting is just connecting. It's the same word. Okay, but do it early and get it done so that you have that time to set up an appointment later in the day, right? And it's a rhythm, like I told you, you're farming. So, hey, your first week you're connecting with people, nothing's really moving. Second week, okay, I'm starting to, okay, I got 1 appointment. Third week, and then you just keep working the muscles. This is working out, right? You're not going to get muscles the first time you work out. And by the way, you can't stop working out either. Okay, or you're going to lose muscle, right? Free listing leads. Okay, so I have a video that I did on that jointdb.com/videos called FISBO strategy. To me, this is one of the easiest ways to get free listing leads is for sale by owners. For sale by owners, actually, you don't have to pay for a service. You don't have to do anything. If they literally put their numbers online because they're trying to sell their home. Okay, so if you go on Zillow.com and you look for sale by owners, look for an area. There they are. There's their phone number. There's their name. You give them a call, and I have a whole script of what you say to them to get into that face-to-face meeting, which, by the way, is not hard to do because they want to sell their home. Why not have another agent look at this property to market it to their buyers? It just makes sense. But the way that I do my script is not like bullshitting them like, hey, I have a buyer, but I'm going to go see it first. And I don't lie to them. I say, I just wanted to call you and see if I can piggyback on any showings that you want because I'd love to take a look at your home. Like, why do you want to piggyback on it? Well, I don't want to waste your time. I don't have a specific buyer for your property, but right now all the properties that are listed are kind of flying off the shelf and I'm having to show buyers other properties. So it would be free marketing for you. I just want to take a look at the home, maybe take a few pictures and learn a little bit about the home so I can start marketing it for you. Yeah, sure. Oh, well, I don't have anything set up, but why don't you come tomorrow around 2? Fantastic. And then I show you 7 different things that you can do while you're in that home to add value. And you might find more, right? Not to sell them on anything. They want to try this on their own. I get it. It's to offer value. Hey, would it help? I said, I saw your pictures online. Honestly, now looking at your home, the pictures are not doing it justice. I'm going to take a few pictures while I'm here. If you mind, I'm going to move some things around just to kind of give it the best shot. And if you like this picture, tell you what, how about I make you a flyer? Email it to you. Give me your email and I'll send you a flyer so you can give it out to people when they walk in. That way you have great pictures. Oh, I would love that. Boom, you got their email. You're giving them some value. Out of curiosity, are you making sure you have somebody to help pre-qualify your buy, a buyer? Because you're not going to accept the contract without a pre-approval letter, are you? I didn't even really think about it. Okay, tell you what, I have a connection with a lender, Home First Lending. What if I give you my lender, right? So you can just tell them that I sent you, and if anybody comes in with a contract, wants to make you an offer, make sure they're pre-qualified. Ask them and then send them to my guy. He'll take care of you. Another value add, they weren't even thinking about it. Out of curiosity, do you have a title company? What? A title company. They're the people who are going to handle all the paperwork, make sure there's no liens on your property. They're the ones who actually handle the deposits and everything. Do you have somebody for that? Tell you what, I'm going to link you up a Celebration Title Group. I can think of 20 things I can give them. Hey, are you doing open houses? I don't have time to do open houses. I would love to do an open house for you. How about I do an open house for you this coming weekend? That way I can kind of help you get more traction on the property involved. Doesn't cost them anything and you're helping them.
I've got a lady friend at the moment who's looking to sell and she wants to buy. But are we in the business of doing, we don't care whether we're selling somebody's home or buying a home.
No.
We don't care.
No. We care because we want all.
So I can actually, because she's a very good friend of mine, and I'm kind of like, her house is, and I kind of like think, oh.
I would be mad if you didn't.
Huh?
I would be mad if you didn't try to get every single
For
sell and
buy.
purchase.
So I can. She's
And
very
her investment property in the future when you convince her.
Oh, absolutely. She's absolutely, a very, well, she's a very nice lady, but, I kind of like think, well, there's an absolute.
She's wealthy? I mean, making it sound like she's wealthy. She got money?
Yeah.
Okay. So obviously great deals. She's going to buy expensive properties.
She lives on her husband just died, of course. So, but she wants to perhaps sell her house is on one of those massive golf course estates. Is it, one of those?
Windermere or something?
Yeah, something really expensive.
She's a good candidate to talk to her about some of those Disney properties. Hey, would you ever want to buy a Disney property as an investment?
Yeah. Short-term
rental properties. Do you know that those properties pay up to 10% commissions? That you can sell one property and get like 30 grand commission.
Yeah.
It's almost like selling multi-million-dollar deals. It really is, right? So that's a good candidate, somebody who has money. Hey, you know what? And she might even want to live in it. Hey, now that you kind of, do you want to live in a place where kind of everything gets done for you?
Yeah.
I'm like, because they just built Margaritaville. And Margaritaville is kind of a resort-style community. You could live there. It's central to everything. And, they've got amazing townhomes and homes in there. And you can build, and they pay 7% commissions.
Yeah, let me see. Maybe sometime I'll see if I can nudge closer to it.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I just strategizing how to reel them in, because
just set something up. Set something up with her. Have a same thing. Connect. Hey, hey, look. I was just want to catch up with you. I know she's gone through a tragedy. Right?
Yeah, it's true.
So I want to. Hey, I just want to know I'm here for you. Whatever you need. And I'm here to help you with whatever, I'm going to get you to, I'm like, but, and if you have any questions about what you're going to do next or how to handle it, I'd love to be a resource for you. Sit and let her talk.
Yeah.
Did I click? Okay. So here's another way to get into the open house game without actually having a property. Okay. Obviously I want you to get a deal. So get a listing. That's the best way to get open houses. Okay. But seller open house, or what I call an owner's preview. I totally made this up, but it works. Okay. So find a neighborhood that you want to do business in. Okay. That you want to get listings in. Okay. Find a vacant property for sale in that. Doesn't have to be from this office. It can be any agent. Okay. Call the agent up and say, hey, I'm looking to show a few people the property between 10 and 12 tomorrow on Saturday. Let's say it's a Saturday. 10 and 12 tomorrow. I just want to make sure you're not doing an open house or anything. I don't want to interfere because I'm going to be bringing a few people in during that time. They're like, no, don't worry about it. Fantastic. Then on Friday night, you go around the neighborhood with a little flyer saying that you're doing an owner's preview from 10 to 12 tomorrow to show people, the owners in the neighborhood, what the sale of that property will mean for them. It'll give you a chance to preview the home, and I'll give you, some things to help you evaluate your home and see where you're at, type of thing, right? Which most of the time you open houses, how many neighbors come in? They come in all the time. They want to see Susie's house. They never see Susie's house. They want to know what's up. They're nosy like that. Okay, so you go knocking on the neighborhood and say, hey, I just want to let you know, I just wanted to stop by and let you know I'll be doing an owner's preview for the home down there. I'm going to be showing the home only to the owners of the neighborhood. Here's the flyers from 10 to 12 tomorrow. I'll have some refreshments and things there, but really just to show you what the sale of that home means for the value of your property and the money you might make on your property when or if you sell. Oh yeah, just stop by at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's just for the owners in the neighborhood. Boom, next door, boom. So you get 3 or 4 people that stop by that are all owners in the neighborhood. And then you can get a chance to kind of go over this listing. Hey, this is another agent's listing. I will tell you, it's been on the market for this amount of time. You tell them, here's my thoughts on why this is happening is because of this, of that. I would, out of curiosity, Jim, what would you do different in this house to help it sell? And you have this conversation with these people and kind of go through with them and what it means to them, and boom, you just picked up one of those people's going to want to be like, you know what, I'm ready to sell. Okay? Seller's open house. It's free. Vacant homes, right? And by the way, any home you see, you have a better chance of selling, by the way. Okay, so if you like the neighborhood, there's a chance that you can find a buyer for somebody for that house too. So going to see the house, you say, hey, somebody talks about living in that Lake Nona neighborhood. You're like, I actually just saw a house over there, beautiful granite countertops, huge kitchen, just like you talked about. Let's go see it. I was just there a week ago. And then attend one networking or business event per week. We're looking for the best energy people in the room to connect with, and you should be the best energy person too. What does that mean? Look, my magic is just bringing massive energy. I think we have multiple superpowers as human beings that we don't use, but one of the easiest ones to use is energy. Okay? People want to be around high energy people. Okay? So if you're the person who's walking in a room with your shoulders slumped and you're doing this, you're not smiling and whatever, it's hard to attract people. It really is, because you're looking for those type of people, but you're never going to attract them and you're never going to make the effort. But if you walk in with good posture, you walk in, smile on your face, you're accessible, whatever the case may be, guys, it's almost a faith thing, because if I told you some of the stories of how I met some people, you'd think I'm making it up. But sometimes I'm literally just like, walking in the networking event, look around, like, I know him, so I'll go say hi to him in a second. He's with some people. Let me go get a drink at the bar. Going, I'll just be at the bar having a drink, and then somebody be like, shh. They're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, what do you work with? I'm like, oh, and we have this conversation, and then it ends up being one of my clients, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even go up to that person. That person came up to me. That's part of the energy that you're putting out, okay? And then I want you to remember, so go to one networking, dude, there's no lack of events in real estate. There's 16 going on at the second, at least, just in Orlando, just in this 1 mile radius, okay? Go to these events. It could be a seminar. It could be a training. It could be a networking event. It could be a luncheon. It could be anything. Just go. Wherever people gather that are high-level people, and you say yes, go. If you have the time, go. Go to at least one. That's how I get on my business, okay? I went to an event on Tuesday night, met a lawyer. I was in the buffet line waiting to get my food, and, we're shaking hands, blah, blah, blah. He just turns around and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, man, sharp, blah, blah, blah. I started talking. I'm like, are you real estate as well? Because it was kind of real estate to me. He's like, no, I'm not real estate. I'm a lawyer. I'm like, all right, cool. Gives me his card. I'm like, oh, you're right here downtown, dude. You're walking distance from my office. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, we should have lunch together sometime. He's like, absolutely. Got his card. I'm gonna reach out to him today.
But you go to, is it mainly real estate networking?
No.
There's so many networking.
House parties. Look,
yeah.
I go to the gym. I go to where people gather.
Yeah, so do I.
House parties.
So do I.
Dinner parties. It could be a lawyer's event, an accountant's event, an engineering event. It could be a real estate event. I don't care.
Yeah, what event it is, but just get to them. Yeah.
Get to them. Say yes. It doesn't matter. Like somebody says, hey, cool, that sounds like a cool event. Go. Remember, now, even with EXP, everything's supercharged, because not only are people your clients, but so are agents now. You're not there's no experience wasted as long as you come in with the right energy, okay? And as Gil says, curious people make more money. So talk less, ask more questions, you'll get more business. Start asking people some questions. That's it. I'm telling you, I want to complicate it more for you, but I don't, because you'll start looking for some magic formula, strategy. The formula is connect, ask questions. Connect, ask questions. Connect with more people, ask more questions. Say yes to going to these events. Go where people gather. Connect, ask more questions. And obviously, you want to collect their info, by the way. Don't do this whole thing where you're just handing out cards, okay? Because your cards can get thrown away. It's about getting their information. And then your job is to follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay, I meet somebody, I got the guy's card. I have to follow up. I have to set up the lunch, not him. Not hoping he sets it up. I set it up, but I have his stuff, right? That's what your job is, okay? So that's, dude, you do the things that we did there in those first 4 weeks, you're going to be off to an incredible start. But if I could tell you one thing, you're going to have to let them fall through the cracks, okay? Oh, my meeting ended. Fantastic. Or maybe it didn't, or I just pressed something that I shouldn't have. That was so weird. This happened to me the other day. So weird. Okay, so on this page, there's a bunch of links you already know about the jointTDP.com site, the EXP calendar, BrentGoreSources.com, all those places you can find great resources. 2018 best places to work by EXP. You can find stuff about EXP on this site as well. Actually, they just got voted 2020 as well. One of the best places to work by Glassdoor. So here's some important info that you need to know. Just so you know, our broker is named Andrew Schott. He's based out of Sarasota. He's an awesome guy. One of the smart things EXP did was, hey, look, brokerage is just a legal function, and we have somebody handling paperwork, making sure you're in compliance. The one thing you'll need to know is you see this email signature right here. So whenever you need a broker to sign something, like it's a listing agreement or something that the broker needs to initial or sign, then you just send a digital signing to that email address, and it will get signed like ASAP. Okay. And then there's some other information there, like our address and stuff like that. Okay, so I made things easy for you. When it comes to documents you need for a listing, it's in your launch book. But I also put it on the jointTDP.com site as well. It's on jointTDP.com/docs. You can see all this list. You can see the list of documents you need for purchases. And I also have put documents that aren't in your transaction. Transaction Desk is the system that we use that has all of our contracts. It's tied to the MLS. But EXP specific forms won't be in there, right? You have to upload them into there. So I have those on the jointTDP.com site. So whenever you need an EXP specific form, which will be one called the wire fraud disclosure, right? Just basically alerting clients that wire fraud exists, that you acknowledge that it exists, that type of thing has to be signed. And then if you're dealing with a buyer, there's a buyer disclosure. If you're dealing with a seller, there's a listing disclosure. And then I also on that website added something called a waiver of listing. So just so you know, whenever you sign a listing agreement, technically you're supposed to put that listing up within 48 hours. Okay, if you're not going to put it up, which we rarely do, by the way, because you still have to take pictures, you still have to do this, you still have to get the property ready, you still have to get your marketing in place. Plus, I like to market properties off market for at least a week or two. Let me see if I can get a buyer before I even put it on the market. Okay, so there's a form that the seller has to sign saying that they're agreeing that you're not going to list it until this date. Okay, so that's also on the website. Okay, so how do you get paid? So here's the deal. SkySlope is our digital filing cabinet. SkySlope is where we put all of our executed documents in, okay? I've done a video on how to use SkySlope, plus I put the links on how to start transactions and stuff that comes straight from SkySlope. Most every software program has tutorials, so if you ever are in a situation where you just don't know what's going on, do it. But I try to make it easy for you, so I put it all there. All you have to know is that you don't want to wait till last minute to put your documents in, okay? I say minimum 7 days prior to closing. I say do it even faster than that. I'm saying as soon as you get documents in, put them up there and get it done. And the reason you do that is because this is how you get paid. Okay, so EXP has to review these documents to issue something called a DA or disbursement agreement. They send that to the title company, and the title company knows what to pay you. But the beautiful part is if you get this done in time, the disbursement agreement will say, let's cut a check directly to Nick at closing, rather than you having your money sent to EXP and they have to process it and do all this stuff. That only happens if you wait till the last day, then you put it up, then they don't have time to review it. So now a lump sum check goes to EXP and they got to sort it out. Don't do that. Make sure you get good at this. So I told you that we charge a 234 transaction fee, which will charge to the buyer. Okay, but in this section, I show you where in the SkySlope how to input that fee, because it's gonna be labeled as a transaction coordinator fee, because that's the way that we can do that fee without them having to take it out, like take the commission out of it. Because if I did it on the commission section, they would take 20% from that number, right? So we have to pay it as a third-party fee as a transaction coordinator. So we do that. Now, if for some reason you have a transaction coordinator, which you're also paying, just combine the two fees. So if it's $234 and then you got a $250 transaction fee, you combine the number to $484 here, tell them who's getting paid, and then here in the notes section, you say who it's going to be mailed to. That's all going to be in your packet. So don't boggle your mind with all that. We'll get to it when you get a deal. Like I said, deals over everything. And then here's how you pay zero in fees. You charge your client $375. So in SkySlope, there will be a checklist section that actually where you upload all your documents. And in one of the questions it asks, is there a transaction fee? And you're going to say yes, $375. And they'll charge that to the client. And that'll be considered a part of the commission. So it's their commission plus that $375. So not that you need to know this, but some people ask like, oh, I thought the fee was this, whatever, this and that. It's $234 for us, but remember, they're going to take 80% of that. Okay. And EXP themselves charges $65 per transaction. Okay. We're the ones charging the extra $234. So basically, long story short, once they take 80% of that, it covers both. Okay. So that way you don't have to pay for anything. So if you're at the 80% split, you're going to get a clean 80. If you're at the 100% split, you get a clean 100. Okay. Any questions? That's pretty much it, guys. I kind of ran along today.
Yeah, it's fine.
I ran along.
So what should be our next step? Like I'll leave it. I'll think, I've got notes here. Look at this. You can see what perfection say.
Yeah.
I've got
my notes.
So I kind of think, well, it is. You think, well, what should I actually do? I can wend my way through the launch, sure. Is that what I should be doing over the next?
Yes, that's the whole point of this. Don't deviate from this plan. I said two things: do what's in there, and plug in. Part of what's in there is going to the classes, right?
Okay.
You go home and sit yourself in a room. And you start making up stories, and you don't do what you're supposed to do. And
so come to the classes.
Come to the classes. Be here when there's stuff going on. Get around the energy. Be able to ask a few people some questions. Get some ideas.
So I should really get off my backside and come here as often as I can.
Yeah, I find it surprising. It's funny because it's like real estate. Sometimes it's like, what's different than this? Than obviously you have to think like an entrepreneur. But some people are like, Chris Charles. Perfect example. Chris Charles is, I don't know how to say how old she is, but she's at least I want to say she's at least in the 60s. So she's an older agent, right? And we just did a panel on some of the older, because everybody thinks that, it's a young person's game because all the make bullshit. Like some of our top producers are older agents, right? But she came in, same thing, had a lot of stories and what she could do, what she couldn't do. And she told me the other day, it was actually felt really good. I was at the Christmas party and she's like, she's like, hey, do you know when I made the switch, like when I made my turn, when things shifted for me? She's like, it's something you told me. And she's like, it's really profound, Bobby. I'm like, what is it? She goes, you told me to show up. So you got to start showing up. Like, what other job have you had that you just don't get to show up? Like, stuff is going on here. Like, there's a company here. Like, yes, you have the freedom not to show up, but if you expect to do well not showing up, I don't know whenever that was a thing. So I told her, I was like, look, the thing is like, I'm teaching you, I'm coaching you. I'm like, but then I don't see you for like 3-4 weeks. It's a problem. I said, I need to see you here. Get involved. So what she did, she started asking for floor duty. I knew when it happened too, because I used to see her. I'd be leaving, like I said, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'd see her walk by, and she's still at the floor duty day because people are calling her office. They're free leads. They're calling off signs that they see at properties, and then you're getting those free leads. So she started signing up almost every other day for floor duty leads. And then she was in here, and suddenly her business started to grow.
Yeah.
And then she started getting more active and getting off your backside and doing some stuff. And sure enough, business started to happen. Now she's literally one of our top producers in the office. She ended up joining actually Gil's team. She showed that she was capable of doing that, ended up joining Gil's team, and now she's a 6-figure performer. And she started just with that same kind of questioning, like, should I do this? I wasn't showing up. But at some point, you got to make a decision.
Yeah.
I'll help you as much as I can, but you still have to make a decision, and that's it,